Welcome to episode 50 of the Moose Knuckle podcast. Moose Knuckle podcast.wordpress.com, I believe, or Google it. Figure it out. What to talk about? I have a couple of ideas, disjointed as usual. Not sure what order to go in. I guess I'll just start with Burnie Sanders. Right now, I believe the New York primaries are going on, or no, they're going on. Okay. I don't know what the, or are they going on? I don't know. They had the debate last night, I believe, and maybe they're voting today. I'm not sure. Either way, not important. I don't know really how those went. I didn't see them yet. I usually don't watch any of the debates, Democrat or Republican. I usually kind of catch the highlights, which can be misleading at times, but I don't really have time to watch hours regularly of political debates. But I was thinking about Burnie Sanders in terms of, how would you say this, being quote unquote socially radical, called himself a social democrat, wants to break up the big banks, $15 minimum wage, pretty much now, not, over time. I'm not sure what else. He has a bunch of stuff. You can look it up. But my point is, he's been involved in politics for almost 40 years now. I believe he was a mayor before he was a senator. He's been a senator, I think, for almost 30 years. And if you look at his stance on things, it's pretty much always been the same. And I was thinking about how crazy that really is, not in terms of being consistent. I think we do have politicians who are consistent. They're usually not nationally known, they're more local. But consistent in terms of how, I guess, socialist he wants to be, for 30 to 40 years. And I believe his highest demographic he's getting votes in is 18 to 35-year-olds. Which I was thinking about is kind of crazy, because he's I think he's 71 now or something like that. He's old. But the point is, so he was this way when he was in his 30s. And it took, I don't know, almost 2 more generations to grow up for people to catch up with him. I was just thinking how kind of wild that is. I mean, I was thinking of it in this way. You almost have to think of him like Elon Musk, in the fact that they were both just ahead of their time. Now, for Elon Musk, it's a little bit easier because he's an inventor, so he can do the best with what he has, How do I say that better? He's an inventor, and maybe the tools to what he wants to do aren't good enough yet. Like, maybe we don't have something he wants to make where we can manufacture to the precision he needs, but he can at least start down that path quicker. And I was thinking, Burnie Sanders is kind of the same way socially. It's just, it takes a lot longer. You have to, there's ebbs and flows to things as far as the country. We assume we're kind of always getting more liberal. And I think in some ways we are, but in a lot of ways too, there's kind of swings because, children, I think kids who parents were kind of in their 20s and the 70s, so they were kind of hippie, kind of that peace and love vibe, aren't necessarily all conservative in the sense of political being politically conservative, but conservative in the sense that maybe they're not as free-spirited. So I think there's ebbs and flows in society that way. I think we are always getting more liberal, but we're kind of, how do I say this? It's not a exponential curve. If you don't know what that is, you can Google it, of liberalism. It's more which you could look at shorter term, because there's obviously dips, but similar to, I guess, the inflation of the dollar. It's steadily rising, but there's humps and valleys within that rise. And I think that's more how we go in as progression in society goes. So I was thinking it's kind of wild that it took that long where we had enough people. I don't know if he's going to win. He's definitely behind. I mean, win as far as the Democratic nomination. He's definitely behind, but at least there's enough people where he's making noise. People are looking at him, you know. He's getting enough votes to stay in there, at least so far. I just thought that was kind of crazy, because you would have thought a year ago, most people, you say, who's Burnie Sanders? They have no idea. And everyone knows who Hillary Clinton is, and she'd have this thing locked up. I just thought that was kind of interesting. Don't know what's going to really happen, but it'd be interesting to see. Overall, too, it is interesting just because polling suggests that Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders would beat Trump or Cruz, and they're the two front runners. But polling shows she wouldn't beat Kasich, but he's behind Cruz and what did I just say? Trump. But the reason that's interesting, because I'm not aware of too many times where a party's won 3 presidencies in a row, or if ever. I'm not sure. I can only really remember within my lifetime, and that has not happened. So it would be interesting to see based on the polling, but you never know how accurate that really is, you know, because we've seen things obviously be wrong before. Okay, now to completely change subjects. Interlude while I read. Oh yeah, that's a good note. Teleport sex. What does that mean? Well, you'll find out. So I think I was watching Futurama. Probably one of the best cartoon shows ever, not just kid cartoon show. I mean, kind of like Simpsons or Family Guy. I really like it. It's about, they say 10 seasons, but really there's 9 with like 3 movies kind of after the first 6 seasons, and they got canceled and they made the movies. Then there was like 3 more seasons, I believe. The little show that wouldn't die, but finally did. Anyway, so I was watching that, and there was some kind of wormhole-esque thing, like, I don't remember what it was, but Fry stuck his hand through and it would come out somewhere else. And I was just thinking, oh man, my mind is fucked up. But I was just thinking, so if we somehow did get technology like this, what kind of weird fetish, like sex type stuff there is. And I was thinking about this because there's already underwear you can buy that has a like, you keep the remote and your significant other, female, wears them, and you can hit the button and there's different settings you can turn it up to, and it's basically like a little vibrator thing. I think I didn't really look into it too much, but I know they exist. And I'm also aware cuckolding exists. If you don't know what that is, Google it. Not at work though, Definitely do not Google that at work. So I was thinking there's going to be some crazy, weird cuckold fetish slash prostitution type shit where like there's some underwear that almost has like a little teleporter thing on the front. And I don't know how this is all just crazy in my head, obviously how it would work, but then I assume there's a other end that a dude could stick his dick in and then it teleports through and away and then goes into the woman. So I was thinking, like, because cuckolding is basically, oh, I told you to Google it. Whatever. I'm going to tell you what it is now, or what I think it is. So basically, like, you have to watch, I think that's what you have to watch while, like, your woman has sex with another dude. And I know there's dudes, too, who get off, like, thinking about their woman having sex with other guys, which is odd, but whatever, to each their own. But I was thinking it's going to be crazy year 3000 technology type shit. So like you wouldn't even have to give somebody the other end. You just like almost give them a log on. And there's going to be some type of crazy shit where he's going to say like, he's going to give him the log on and you're going to be like walking around a mall or some shit with your girlfriend. He's going to be like, okay, do it now. Well, he's not going to whisper. He's probably text him or some shit. I don't know. Maybe by then we'll like send mind messages or some shit. But either way, they're going to be like the middle of somewhere public. And he'll be like, okay, do it now. And she's just going to be walking. That was terrible moaning. But you get what I'm saying. And just like, so she's essentially going to be in the middle of public getting banged through this weird teleporter, dick teleporter thing I thought of. And the dude's just going to be like loving it, going, giggling. I don't know if he'd be aroused or not. Mentally, he would be. I don't know why I thought of that. But I did. And then I thought, too, it'd make prostitution a lot easier, too. You know, you just send somebody that you could be freaking, because they don't even have to be in the same room. You just be sitting back, like, if you're the chick watching Grey's Anatomy or something, some dude's just going to town or whatever. And, you know, then he sends you 50 Bitcoin or whatever the fuck it would be then. Who knows? I just thought of that. I know, odd. Oh, sorry guys, I'm kind of tired. I know I've been trying to, or I said I was going to try and make these more energy, like, instead of talking like this. But for whatever reason, I screwed up my sleep schedule. I'm kind of tired. But deal with it. I had one last thing. What the fuck was it? Oh, Craigslist personals. I know I've talked about these before, but I was thinking it's had to have happened, and just how excited the person was, you know, fuck, how was I gonna say? Whatever. Brain fart. But, so say in larger cities, you know, you got these huge high-rise buildings or something. Whatever, 40 stories, 30, 40 stories, you know, there's maybe every time you, as a dude, go into work, wherever you work, some type of drafter and some architect firm, and down in the lobby, there's like this little coffee cart, and there's this girl there you think is cute, but you never talk to her, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. There has to be a time when, like, those people were both randomly on, like, Craigslist or Tinder or something like that, just trying to hook up, and they found each other. I don't even know what that feeling would feel like. Is it like winning the lottery? Would it be that high? Or is it like getting a new free car? Like, what level of excitement is it? Because it's happened. Not a lot. Hell, maybe not even over 100 times. But it's happened. I guarantee it. And I don't think it has to do with the level of attractiveness, just how attracted you are to the other person. I don't really know where I was going with that. I just thought it had to have happened. Oh, one last thing too I was thinking about the other day. How, what would you call it? Rules that don't really exist. I was at Costco, and all Costco's are essentially built similar. You go in one part, circle around the U shape, come to the registers, then go out. Everyone thinks the same thing, but nobody ever said anything because it's not really a rule. So you come in by the entrance, people cut across and go the other way and stuff, but for the most part, they stick to that U shape when they're in the main kind of corridor area. And whenever there's somebody going the other way, there's always part of you that just wants to say, what the fuck are you doing? You know how this works. You come in here, you go this way, and then you come out this way. But it's not really a rule. There's nothing. It's the only place that's like that. Like it doesn't happen at Walmart. You're not going in this side and always coming out this side. It's how they designed it. And it's worked pretty well. It always bothers people. Not a lot, but just a little. There's always part of you thinking, what are you doing? Because you don't really have to look. You don't have to really pay that close of attention because everyone's moving kind of the same way. You just kind of make sure you don't run into them. But then when someone starts weaving through, kind of, catches you off guard for a second. But that's really all I got this week. What else? Oh, Moose Knuckle Podcast at WordPress.com. Tell a friend. Email me something you think I might find interesting if you want. I think it's Moose Knuckle Podcast at gmail.com. If not, it's on the website, the WordPress one. Tell a friend. You can find us on Stitcher, or you could find us on iTunes. Rate us there. And that's it. Peace out.